This week in Jamaica Now.
There's a hole in the payroll there, Nigeria.
Teachers are restive again. The finance minister says their union leader is not dealing with his ministry.
All she's out there is talking to the media.
No big pension increases for former prime ministers. Billionaire Michael Lee Chin takes leave of absence from the NCB Group. And probe underway into seizure of 2 phones from convicted murderer Vybz Kartel. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. Disgruntled teachers on Friday protested across sections of Jamaica to press the government on salary issues. They are upset that anomalies with their pay arising from the restructuring of the public sector compensation system have not been settled. Some teachers gathered outside the Ministry of Finance on Friday morning to underscore their discontent.
We don't all want to migrate. We don't all want to migrate. But we realize you want to frustrate. We realize you want to frustrate. Why, Nigel? Why? Why, Nigel? Why? Why, Nigel? Why? We're asking why, Nigel? Why? Why, Nigel? Why? We teach, we care, so give us our share. We teach, we care, so give us our share. We teach, we care, so give us our share. We teach, we care, so give us our share.
The Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, had issued a call for teachers to take industrial action on the pay issue. On Wednesday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke was critical of JTA President LaSonia Harrison.
I've made myself available, or the Ministry of Finance is available, has been available, to meet, to discuss any anomalies. But some of the times, you see some of these, they're more interested in talking to the media than to talking to the Ministry of Finance. I don't think that LaSonia Harrison has to date picked up any kind of correspondence with the Ministry of Finance. All she's out there is talking to the media. So we are here and ready to engage on any anomalies that exist, and we have meetings set up to address some of the systematic issues.
The JTA head said letters to the ministry have gone unanswered. The JTA said some of the anomalies include late payments, wrong salaries, and the non-inclusion of negotiated allowances in salaries.
Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Anomalies. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix them. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. All of them. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Just fix it. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix it. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix it. Fix it, Nigel, fix it. Fix it, Nigel. There's a hole in the payroll there, Nigel, there, Nigel. There's a hole in the payroll there, Nigel.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has indicated that his decision not to implement the 214% increase in his salary will not be reversed for the duration of his tenure. Mr. Holness announced on Monday that the compensation of the Prime Minister would be removed from the new salary scale following backlash over the massive increases in salaries for members of the political directorate. The Prime Minister's salary was set to increase to $28.6 million next year, April, but Mr. Holness said he would instead continue to receive his $9 million annual salary.
It is important that the country is assured that its leader symbolically and truthfully understands their concerns. As your leader, I do. Therefore, I have directed the Transformation Implementation Unit to remove the Prime Minister's compensation from the new salary scale. The Prime Minister's compensation will therefore remain at its previous levels. To be clear, no retroactive payments will apply to the Prime Minister's pay.
Mr. Holness later clarified that he's only collecting one salary, which is the $9 million due to him as Prime Minister. Meanwhile, Mr. Holness's decision to have his salary remain at the $9 million yearly is binding on all former and future heads of government. This is because their pension is tied to the salary of the current office holder. There are 3 living former Prime Ministers, P.J. Patterson, Portia Simpson-Miller and Bruce Golding. Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding says Jamaica's income tax threshold should be increased by about 40% to match the present realities of the country's working class population. Mr. Golding says the current income tax threshold of $1.5 million has not been adjusted since 2016.
Since then, we've had over 40% inflation. It needs to be significantly increased. Give the working class a break. Give workers a break. There's no point having a threshold which is out of whack with where the cost of living has moved to. And that just means that people are earning less than they ought to be earning if the threshold was adjusted for the prices in the way that prices have adjusted.
Billionaire businessman Michael Lee Chin is taking a 3-month leave of absence from his post as chairman of the NCB Financial Group. On Wednesday, the group disclosed to the market that Mr. Lee Chin was taking a leave of absence but did not disclose the reason. His leave extended to his board seat at Guardian Holding Limited in Trinidad and Tobago, a regional insurance group majority owned by NCB Financial. Market speculation over the development mounted, forcing NCB Financial to issue a longer statement later that same night with more clarity. NCB says Mr. Lee Chin is taking the time to temporarily fill an executive role within his organization in Canada, where his chief operating officer exited after 25 years. In addition, it said Mr. Lee Chin was also pursuing interest in precision oncology and clean energy. Lead Independent Board Director Professor Alvin Wint has assumed the role of interim chairman of the NCB Financial Group during Mr. Lee Chin's leave of absence. Convicted former senior manager at the National Commercial Bank, Andrea Gordon, has been ordered to forfeit over $119.1 million arising from her ill-gotten assets. Ms. Gordon is currently serving 7 years and 9 months in prison for robbing the bank of $34 million. The Department of Correctional Services has launched an investigation after 2 cellular phones were seized from convicted dancehall artist Vybz Kartel at the Tower Street Correctional Facility in Kingston. The DCS confirmed that the artist, whose given name is Adija Palmer, was among 3 inmates who were found in possession of the prohibited items on the block where he's being housed. One of the prohibited items was reportedly found in his possession on May 19 and the other on May 21 during a search. The DCS's disclosure comes in the wake of a post on the artist's Instagram page in which it was reported that he had been placed on a 24-hour lockdown since the phones were found and that the lockdown is affecting his health as the cell is allegedly poorly ventilated. The post claimed Kartel, who reportedly has thyroid issues, has not been breathing properly since the lockdown. However, the DCS rebutted the claim that Kartel is on a lockdown. The department told the Gleaner that the phones were taken from the entertainer, but that he was not placed on lockdown as he is being kept in his regular cell. From the region now, investigators in Guyana believe a fire that killed 19 students trapped in a school dormitory was deliberately set by a student who was upset that her mobile phone was confiscated. The authorities said the suspect had reportedly been disciplined by the dorm administrator for having an affair with an older man. The student allegedly threatened to torch the dorm and later set a fire in a bathroom area. The alleged arsonist, who is about 14 years old, was also burnt in the fire and is in hospital. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on the notification and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, Jamaica marked National Labour Day 2023 on Tuesday. Let's look back at some of the activities across the island.
Charmaine Daniels, Council Almontown Division. We are cleaning up Brum Lane because over time they tend to acquire a lot of bulky waste. So the fact that we wanted to have a healthy and safe community, we keep just getting rid of them and in the midst of time educating them as to how to keep their community clean. So as you see, we started the garden last year and we want to continue finishing up the garden. Have the recycling of bottles with the environmental club because there's an environmental club here. So we just want to ensure that we have a clean and healthy community.
We have Labour Day projects with the parents to just clear the car park where they park their vehicles. So we're cutting the trees that would be hung over, that would kind of scrape up their vehicles. So we want to ensure that the parents are also comfortable.
And also shade for the students themselves.
The shade for the students, those are guaranteed. We are making sure that the tree is treated so that it can grow fresh limb and branches, and by the time we reopen for September, you would have proper covering. It also takes care of the hurricane season to get off the dead limbs, the dry limbs, so they don't become a hazard.
Okay.
So that's the Labour Day project for us.
Yeah.
Right? While JN does theirs in the schoolyard. So we want to thank JN managers as well. So they are here as partners to do the grounds, the murals for the children, their hopscotch, while my parents are working, as you can see, in the car park. All right? So you see a lot of females and a gentleman up in the top. All right.
This is one of our 3 community projects that we have embarked on to assist the community. So we have the Denham Town Police Station, we have the St. Albans, and we are here now at the Edward Siaga Primary. So we're assisting with our Labor Day project.
We are the Labor Day project. One of the Labor Day projects which COK is undertaking this year is here at St. Peter Claver Primary. It's very important that we actually look at the pedestrian crossing whose children have to maintain crossing the intersection. So we think also it was a very, very good Labor Day project. One of the things what we at COK have been supporting. We have been a great supporter of St. Peter Claver, and so therefore this is one of our continuous efforts down here at St. Peter Claver to ensure the well-being of the children.